I'm Shea.
And I'm Shealyn.
And this is Shea Scarelynch. Today is Friday the 13th. And so, in honor of Friday the 13th, we are doing Jason Takes Manhattan. Since we actually
and
did.
My request.
Yes, because we already did the first Friday the 13th. So, and we talked about 5 randomly. So now we're doing Jason Takes Manhattan because Shealyn just moved from New York to Jersey. So,
oh God,
there we go.
Yes, driving through Manhattan the past few days, moving in a giant box truck. Someone there?
No, why?
Oh, you were looking.
I was looking at the computer.
You're about to get murdered.
Facts.
Oh, I was like, are you gonna get murdered?
Yes, Jason is here.
Yeah. I think this one, like, it could have been so great. That's what upsets me. Like, this is like the best missed opportunity of a golden horror movie
so
in New York City. I know.
So bad.
Trust me, I know, because growing up, I never had access to this movie for some reason. And I would see the poster, you know, the killer, like, I/New York, he's going through the logo, which of course New York City Tourist Committee made them change anyway because they're so strict about that logo. Like, they could literally sue me for having a version of it on my arm, but I don't have any money, so they can go ahead and try and sue me. I'm not worried, but they're like crazy about that damn logo, so they made them change the poster. But I love that poster. Now, of course, the one that came out is the one that's behind you. Also an amazing poster. This movie had so much potential and a high budget. They had like
and
a $5 million, the highest
ball.
budget. I mean, I get it. It's very expensive to film in New York City. So they had 2 days. I think they shot that killer, like this one, the Times Square scene, like one walking down the subway. The rest was clearly shot in Vancouver or wherever. Like they're on the boat the whole time, right?
On the boat. Yeah. So Jason takes the boat.
How it's
I
guess we should say how ridiculous it starts, because he's shocked back to life, his corpse, by the anchor of a houseboat that gets like entangled in, I don't know why there's like a power, what is it down there? Some type of
power.
electricity.
I don't know. The whole thing is ridiculous. It's like, how do we bring him back to life? Well, let's electrocute him. Because some couple is like, they're high school kids. Okay, why are you on a boat by yourself in the middle of apparently a lake or a river?
I think first the houseboat is just a couple, and it's that guy. They're in Crystal Lake, which again, that's a lake.
They're supposed to be.
Is it hooked onto, like, somehow they get into the ocean?
Right? I know.
I don't.
It is supposed to be a couple. The guy and the girl that get murdered on the boat, right?
Oh, the first people. They're supposed to also be high school.
They're high school students supposed to go on the main ship.
Got it.
Out there, because they say it at the beginning when they're like, "Oh, they didn't show up. Oh, they're probably just rather spend time with each other, you know, teenagers."
Yeah, the guy's like oddly taking off her underwear for like a long time. Like, I don't know, this movie. So many parts of it, and like I said, I really wanted to like it. I tried, but I was so upset that it's mostly on the ship. You know,
it's mostly on the boat. Yeah.
What, an hour and 10 minutes or something like that for them to actually get to Manhattan. And then
the
for some
only
reason,
an hour
still
and 38
really long.
minutes.
I know, but it feels like forever. It feels like 3 hours. Where do all the people go from the boat? Weren't there more people on the boat?
Dead.
Like, that's my beef. It doesn't show their deaths.
No,
right?
We're assuming they are in the ballroom dance area or whatever. We're assuming they've all either burned or drowned because 5 people escaped.
Got it.
On their little date, whatever.
There's like the weird, you know, cokehead blonde who's romancing the old man teacher,
right?
Who's not even hot.
He's
I don't
like
know.
A biology
it's so
teacher,
odd.
and she's written things, and then he freaks out. He's like, "Wait, no, I can't do this." I'm like, "You're like 500 years old, dude. Like, what is why are we trying to like
I understand the hot
teacher,
but like if the guy was actually hot, like I understand, like he's fantasizing, but this guy was an old man, like legit grandpa.
Yeah, he was not. It was like not. What are you doing? Stop it. So we open with this girl who apparently has aquaphobia. And this teacher, her parents died in a car accident. You know, we get a backstory later. So her parents died in a car accident. And so her uncle, which is the biology teacher, like over of like, I'm going to foster you or whatever. be your legal guardian. And like some other random teacher takes her under her wing, like, I care about you, but I have no legal responsibility to you. Gives her a fountain pen, which we look at it later and go, that's going to be involved
the
later,
weapon,
which is like for 5 seconds. I was like, it could have been a ballpoint pen, could have been anything. Do we have to focus it?
I mean, this movie has a weird focus points a lot on weapons. Like throughout the movie, it's like slow-mo shot.
It's like whatever just his hand. Arrow. Look at this weapon. Yeah. Why is this important?
Yeah.
Or you're like, okay, I get it. Visions that she gets these weird visions of Jason. I'm like, are you mentally, kinetically, like
the weird
attached?
Visions? Of the kid. Well, then it reveals at the end that her uncle had thrown her in the water and Jason had pulled her down. But why is she seeing the kid? One, I mean, I get it now. She was down there with him. He changes his look throughout the movie. Like he has different special effects makeup. I'd say 3 or 4 changes, and they're all terrible. But like, whatever. I don't know how to do that stuff. Even though you had a $5 million budget,
none of it makes sense. And you're just
the
like,
whole
wait,
movie.
what?
I mean, okay, you're watching it. The opening scene, gritty New York, 80s New York, love it. Except they're focusing on weird things. Like they show these junkies who end up coming around later as like the scary junkies who tried to inject Rennie with heroin, because that's what people are doing. They
first of all, nobody's doing that because that's a waste of money.
That's what they want it for themselves. Why are they going to try and shoot you up? Like good luck trying to get some from somebody. But it's like that's a weird montage of New York. I think they were just trying to establish this is where we are. It has like the ominous narration that you're like, oh, this is going to be set in New York. This movie's going to be rad. No.
Yeah, I think they just try to scare you. It's like, this is the gritty underbelly of New York. And you're like, but is it? Because
it reminds me of Chud.
A little bit.
This movie, the toxic waste at the end, because clearly that happens. What is that? What is that?
It's like in the 80s when we were obsessed with quicksand. So now New York, we're obsessed with toxic waste because that's what we think New York has. We just dump that
apparently
in the sewer
every night at midnight, every night we flush the sewer with toxic waste. Which I'm like, wouldn't we explode? Or I don't know what would happen. Whatever.
Wouldn't the Chud people be attacking us now? Like.
It was just wild. From start to finish, this movie is a stretch. You have Kane Hodder as Jason. He's amazing. He actually said it was super rad because the one scene, like that they were in New York, or 2 scenes, that they're in Times Square. He said people were lining up, they're watching, and he gave them the look, the scary look, and everybody went wild. And he said it was so cool because most of the films were set in a desolate area. You didn't get to interact with fans.
You get to interact with people,
yeah. Unfortunately, this movie blows in so many ways. Like,
dude, and then when they finally do get to New York,
oh my gosh, and it's painful.
It's like, why? Okay, so you're now in New York. You have millions of people to kill and terrorize. Yeah. You're still focusing on these 2 or 3 people. Like, I don't understand while they're like, oh, we've escaped. We're now in New York.
Yeah,
sure. Okay. Please explain to me, why is it that when people are hiding, Jason just knows where you are?
He's teleporting in this movie the whole time. Like, how does he end up? Remember when the guy is climbing the flag, whatever, to escape him? He's all of a sudden above the guy. Okay, one, you can't do that. Later in New York, he's all of a sudden on the 2nd floor. Like, it was driving me nuts, this movie, because it's like it wasn't even trying. Like, they knew that nobody cares. We just want to see gory kills.
This is horrible movie. Those. We know this is bad. Let's just own it.
You didn't even like get the crazy kills that I wanted. The best one, Julius is the boxer. His head gets knocked off. Which is also so ridiculous. How do you knock someone's head off? It will like clear off, lands in the dumpster. That was probably the only, and maybe the old lady blowing up in the taxi cab or something. I don't know. This whole movie is a stretch. Like I said, I watched it, I've watched it before, but It's like, it almost makes me angry to watch it because it could have been such a great movie.
Like when you texted me and I was like, okay, so I'm trying to watch it. And you're like, trying because it's so bad or trying because you can't stream it? I was like, no, it's horrible. This is the worst.
That's what I figured you meant. I was like, oh, maybe she hadn't seen it before and didn't know how terrible it was. I knew it was bad. So going in, I prepared myself. And I'm like just watching it for how ridiculous it is.
I tried to prepare myself. I was like, this is not going to be good. But it was so much worse than I thought it was going to be. That I was just like, oh, these are so, but like the random rock star girl. I'm like, what?
What? I wrote her name down. What the hell is it? Mickey, Ricky? What is it?
I think it was Ricky. I mean, it was so bad.
Whole JJ. And it was so like just the cokehead girl trying to get the other Asian girl to do the drugs. And then I don't know if they're trying to say that she's having that freak out light scene because of cocaine, because that's not how cocaine works. Like just like hours later, like they're acting like she's on LSD, you know, or something. Like,
well, maybe the people who made the movie clearly have not been on any drugs, and it would have helped to get someone for reference. Okay, so there's a random dog, like Rennie has a dog or whatever.
I know.
And then the dog, so the big ship goes down, like there's a fire, it starts taking on water, it goes down, 5 people are on a little dinghy. Where was the dog? Doesn't matter. I thought we get to land and then the dog is there. Dog was not in the boat.
He swam.
The dog did not swim. So we get to land. The dog's there. Okay. And then later the dog runs away, but then at the end the dog comes back.
Yeah.
Like this. What?
I think it was just to get people like, oh, a dog, and distract them from how terrible the fucking movie was. I mean,
so bad.
Because even if you watch it knowing it's terrible, like I was trying to look at why things don't make sense. One guy, the admiral, is killed with the wrong side of a machete. I don't know if you noticed that part. It's literally the dull side of the knife. So I was angry at that.
He's got a brute strength that it just goes through. Well,
but the guy does. He acts like, oh.
My favorite was when the guy at the very beginning got stabbed in the stomach with like I don't know what the hell that was, but it got stabbed in the stomach. Gun. The harpoon gun. It's just the gun, not the harpoon like thing, but the gun.
Yeah.
He gets stabbed. He goes, oh. And then he smears his weird ketchup blood on the window, and I'm just like,
yeah, because even if it wasn't just a terrible movie, but the kills were like amazing, like I mean, okay, it's not fair for me to compare an '89 film with like Halloween Kills that just came out, and the kills were so good and so like you're screaming. This one, they didn't even make sense. Like, can they just please make sense? The guy in the sauna, the sauna. How does your stomach catch on fire from a sauna rock? Like, I get it would burn you, but you aren't gonna. There are gonna be flames, and then it pans back, and the rock is on his chest. Like, they weren't even trying at any point in this movie. Like,
I love how angry you are. You know, I'm actually really annoyed that like the one guy who paid attention to the fact that Jason was on the boat and noticed all the signs. He didn't live. Like, that bothers me so much that I'm like, why didn't you jump ship like a long time ago, guy? Like, I don't.
Yeah. Who was that? The videographer? The creepy?
No, he was like the janitor. Or
no. The guy with the knife, the deckhand. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, why didn't you were like, I saw the other boat come in with this ketchup blood. Okay. And then he starts noticing, and he tells everybody in the room, he's like, oh, Jason Voorhees. And it's like, okay, then why are you still there? I'd be like, I'm out, guys. Thanks. I'll swim to shore. Have a good day.
He had nowhere else to go. He lives on the boat. Okay. He had nowhere.
You had ample time before the boat left the dock to go, I'm out. I see bad things are happening. I'm noticing it.
No, just stick around. It's part of the movie. And then die. It's like everybody died.
And then there's a weird like love scene between Rennie and Sean. And I'm like, what are you doing? It's okay. I'm here for you.
I felt like there was a weird, not love scene, but a little bit of like Jason protected her when he like protects her from the junkies. Does he not? Like, I feel like he came and saved her almost, and it was so weird because he wanted to kill her. Maybe he wanted to be the one to
save her for himself.
He was
saved his kill for myself. I don't even understand. Like the whole thing was, and why was she? Oh, so when the junkies come to kidnap her, why is she 15 feet from the rest of the group?
Yeah.
To begin with, I'm like, why are
it's
you guys
probably like a say no to drugs ad or something, you know, like in the 80s they probably had the war on drugs still
they
happening.
Did, yes.
And so yeah, they were like,
it was just so bad. It was just so I give this a 1 Jason mask. It gets a 1 because that's the lowest rank we have.
It's gonna get a 2 for me, and only because
it's in Manhattan.
That well, okay, yes, you know, my beloved New York City, but then it also the only little fun fact I have in that I like was that Ken Hodder throws a future Jason, you know, when they go into the diner and the lady says the stupid, like, welcome to New York or something. It's so stupid. Right. It's so like obvious.
There's a psychopath chasing us. Well, welcome to New York. It's like,
yeah, which in my mind, I was like, yeah, whatever, what's new? But like, I hate that was the line. And then the big waiter comes out, or bus, or whatever he is.
He's a cook or something.
Yeah. And he actually ends up being Jason later on I wrote it down somewhere, maybe I didn't, but he plays Jason Voorhees in future films. So that's cute, right? The tie-in of, you know, the giant. So maybe
I'm not sure they tied it in on purpose. I think it's just
no, they didn't. Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I don't know. That could have been just a mistake, and he'd been like, I just volunteer. I offered.
No, this was not on purpose. This was the last one that Paramount owned, I think. Then they sold it to, I don't know, Columbia or something. It stopped being owned by Paramount Pictures. This was the last, because it was so terrible.
It was so bad.
It was the biggest flop. But I feel like they should have done okay, because it fooled people like me thinking, oh, it's going to be New York, you're going to watch it. Maybe the word got out early on that it's all in a ship. People didn't want to go. Yeah.
It's Jason is on his way to New York. But even then, he doesn't really do much there. He scares like some bebop kids. He's like with the knife thing. He's like, man, we did it. And like,
and then he shows his face, and it's like a weak face. Like, it's not even scary, you know?
Yeah, of course. But like from that scene, because that's the scene they used in the trailer, is him lifting his mask to show them and not us.
Oh, so people,
So people were like, oh, he's so scary now. And it's like, no, he's just hideous. He just...
Which that's not nice for people to judge him like that. You know, he was rotting at the bottom of a lake. Okay. Like, come on, what do you...
Of course he's going to look gross.
Yeah, like, be nice. Where's the inclusivity? Come on.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give it a 2. Jason
I give it a 1 Jason mask, because it was bad. Because it was worse than I anticipated. That's why. It's like,
on that note, happy Friday the 13th from the
watch a good Friday the 13th movie. Not this one. Don't watch this one.
Unless you just want to get angry like me. That's fine.
Right. Watch this one. And then you know, like, subscribe, share, hit the bell, do stuff. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, where we post funny random things that have nothing to do with movies.
You know, sometimes they do.
Sometimes not a lot, but a lot of stuff is just funny shit that we say.
Yes.
We're hilarious. Really, let's be real.
Another one of my boyfriends. This is the theme.
Yeah. Till next time. Bye.
Bye.
That was good.
Yes.